welcome to the monthly recap, everybody. We talk about everything from horror movies to my horror collection. Starting out for everybody new, I always talk about my notable rewatches first, then I talk about any TV series, then we get into the horror movies of the month and I rank them. This includes new releases and first time watches ranked together. Then I get into the haul portion of my video for my physical media and my horror collection. Then at the very end of the video, I talk about some of the things you can expect to see on this channel next month. Now I do have a special guest with me now too, which is one of the house cats, Bella. So if you hear meowing, that is my mom's cat meowing. Starting out with notable rewatches. This month I rewatched 1408. Now I first saw this movie back in probably 2019, maybe early 2020, and I remember really liking it. And after seeing Holcomb this year, it reminded me a lot of this movie, so I wanted to rewatch it, and I'm glad I did. This basically tells the story of a skeptic who goes into this hotel to write a book, but he receives a haunting he will never forget. I really like this one. You have good performances. I like the way they go with the movie. Now, there are alternative endings to this one, but I really wish they did stick with the theatrical ending because that just fits the movie the best. I also rewatched Under Paris, and Under Paris tells the story of this shark who is one of a kind who gets into the central of Paris during a race. Now I do have a video of this movie on my channel from a couple of years ago, and I actually do remember liking it when I first watched it. Now, do I still like it now? I think it's more of a guilty pleasure for me now. Still, it's one of the better shark movies, and I will say it is better than two other shark movies that got released this year. But you know what? It's a pretty typical shark movie with an annoying character in Mika, because she is still very annoying. Now, going on to TV shows. I started watching Twin Peaks season 1 last month, and I did finish it, but I did like it. I just don't care to continue on to season 2. Now, I might rewatch season 2 later on, but as of right now, I am not continuing with Twin Peaks. But I did start watching and finished a show called Windows Bay within 24 hours. The basic premise of this show tells a story of a haunted island, cursed island, with a mayor who wants to bring tourists to the island. Now, I heard good things about this TV show, but I wasn't really sold on it until I came across one of the clips from the show, and then I binged the entire thing. This episode that really got me hooked on the show was definitely episode 4, and it is my favorite of all of the episodes. My least favorite episode right now, I would have to say, is the finale, but it's still a pretty solid episode, and the way they end it, I really did not see coming, and that was just a really good way to end this series, and I'm very excited for next season if we do get another season of that show, because that was a really good way to end it. You also have some very solid scares throughout the entire thing. The mayor, though, sorry guys, Bella went where my old guy passed away used to go to. But continuing on with what I was saying here, this series is really good. I do like the way they end it, and I do wonder how they will continue on with the series. And I do wonder if the person next to him in the chair in the seat does know the secrets. I'm very interested to see if they know. Going into everything I watched this month, I watched 10 new releases. 3 were new releases and 3 were the Jaws franchise, because this month I watched Jaws 2 through 4 for the first time, and I ranked it all on this channel. So at number 10, I have Jaws: The Revenge. Now, this tells the story of the Jaws shark going after the family and following them to the Bahamas, which is really a bad premise. This movie is boring. The shark doesn't look good. I did laugh a couple of times towards the end of the movie, that I will admit, but it's just not good, very boring, and I didn't care for one character especially. That side plot with romance, did not care for, and the son took way too long to tell him, well, anything that was going on with his family, which is crazy. But at number 9, I have Jaws 3. Jaws 3 tells a story of Jaws, but it takes place in a sea park kind of place. And you know what? It's not great. The CGI and the effects, they don't look good in this movie. But you know what? It's not as bad as Jaws 4: The Revenge. At number 8, I have Her Private Hell. Her Private Hell is really split into like 2 stories that really merge into one. You have the main story that you follow, Elle and her family, and then the second story involves an American soldier looking for his missing daughter. This movie has some beautiful visuals throughout and some good performances, but the story is very much style over substance, and that's like the best way I can describe this movie. There's definitely points in the movie, and one scene specifically, where this soldier takes down a group of people and he puts down his weapon to like have a fight with someone. It doesn't really make much logical sense at all, because especially in the next scene over, and the police are there all of a sudden too. Again, a nitpick. Also very kind of forgettable movie too. And the ending, they do drag on with the ending, but I was interested to see the choice at the end of the movie, and I really wish they did show the choice, because I was like perked up a little bit once we actually kind of got to the end of this movie. But just above that, at number 7, I have Vicious. This is a movie from last year that tells a story of a woman who answers the door and gets a box where she has to fill it with 3 things. And I thought this was gonna be the worst movie that I saw this month. Now, this was before I saw any of the Jaws sequels, I will tell you that. I think this is the most like repetitive kind of thing throughout. Acting wise, she does fine with what she's given. When we have those moments where she has to do something, that works. It's just the most kind of repetitive movie that it's just not entertaining after a certain point. This is very much a movie that would have worked better as a horror short. But at number 6, I have Jaws 2. This is basically the first Jaws with more shark, and you have Brody kind of dealing with the events from the first movie, which I do like, and I do have fun with the sequence towards the end where Brody has to go and save his son, and he gets the shark, and the shark looks fine, but some scenes better than others, just not as good as the original Jaws. But above that, I have Pinocchio Unstrung. Now, this tells the story of a grandfather who builds his grandson somebody who will never die after he loses his parents and a best friend. I had very low expectations for this movie, but I ended up having a decent time with it. It's not going to make top of the year, but it's not bottom of the year material by a stretch. This has some really solid gore, has some good performances in the movie, and I do like the twist they make with Pinocchio and how twisted it gets towards the entire movie. I love when that movie goes, I love the moments where you go unhinged with the movie. But the dialogue in this movie, not great. There's some truly cringy moments in this movie, and I did laugh at some points in the movie, sometimes because, you know, the scenes were a little genuinely funny, and other points because the dialogue was bad or the scene was funny. Pinocchio also himself, the voice does not match the look of the puppet, and I just don't know why. It just totally does not work for me for the voice. I have now since learned doing my video that Robert Englund actually voices the cricket, and you know, that's cool, but it's unfortunate that you have, first off, the AI looking scenes with the cricket, but also the cricket lines are not great, and at some points felt absolutely unnecessary. But you know what? It was still a solid surprise for having very low expectations. But just above that, I have Don't Breathe. This tells the story of a home invasion where some people break into a blind guy's house. This was a really good movie. I did not expect the twist towards the end where he ended up being this also really bad guy. Good twist, good performances, definitely had me on the edge of my seat, and I do like how they used his advantages in the movie. Good solid watch. And number 3, Brain Dead or Dead Alive, depending on where you're from. I just watched this on a whim, and I don't even know how to explain this plot. But basically, this tells the story of a mother who passes away and 2 people who are fighting for the house. This has some really solid gore. It was a lot funnier than I expected it to be, And this is just a watch that I am glad that I finally did rewatch. Now, this is known for having a lot of blood in the movie, especially during one specific scene. Very funny movie, solid watch. But just above that, I have Triangle. This is a 2009 movie, and this one tells the story of a woman and her friends who find a cruise ship after their boat, it has gone down, and they get on the cruise ship. Now, I knew nothing about this movie going in, but I really like how they use this movie, more specifically what you actually learn. I'm trying to be vague about this, but where this movie really goes dark, they definitely go dark. And I did find it easy to follow my first rewatch. I did get confused at times with how things went, but after a certain point I was able to catch on with how they were going, and you know what, this is definitely a hidden gem. But at number 1, I have Evil Dead Burn. This tells the story of the Deadites who are looking for something, so they go after a family, and the family gathers together after the loss of one of the family members. This has some good performances. I think they handle the topic of DV really good in this movie. This does have some stuff against animals, which I'm still not at the place where I necessarily want to see that on screen. But honestly, another solid entry in the Evil Dead franchise. It's not my number 1 of the franchise, but of the 3 newer films, this is by far my favorite of them. But that is it for everything that I watched for the first time this month. Now, I also did not buy a lot this month. That is mainly because I did a horror exchange, and that kind of took my budget. But I got this for my horror exchange. It is a button from one of my favorite movies, Dolls, and I got 2 things from them. First I got was a Blu-ray set of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, which I did not have, but now I do. I do plan to get Freddy vs. Jason soon. I also got Mama, because I got a surprise kind of movie thing, and I got like a whole worksheet and stuff with this, and hot chocolate. You can check out my short and everything on there that I do get if you want to see everything that person got me. But I also pre-ordered 3 things from Target: the ultimate Santa ghost face, the Thanksgiving Art the Clown, and then black and white Welcome to Derry. But I haven't got any of those pre-orders, but because I did cancel my pre-order for 2 of them, my reorder is actually coming tomorrow before any of my pre-orders, which is very annoying. Now, that is just annoying, but putting that aside, I want to talk about things you can expect to see on this channel next month. Next month, so far, what I have planned is you can expect to see a video about Ice Cream Man and the new Insidious movie. I do plan to actually watch all of the Insidious movies for the first time because I haven't seen any of the Insidious movies except for The Red Door. So I'll be watching majority of the franchise for the first time and rank them after I see the new Insidious movie. I also plan to do a NECA versus video when I do get my black and white Welcome to Derry Pennywise, because I do have the other ones. I will also be revisiting the Texas Chainsaw Massacre original movie for the Texas Chainsaw Day. So that is it for this monthly review. Very packed month, but I also have a lot planned for next month because I do have a convention coming out next month too. So comment down below what you watched this month and how you would rank everything that you watched this month. Let's have a conversation, and I'll see you guys soon because next month we have a lot to talk about. Editing me here. 2 months ago, I made a tier list of the horror movies I've seen up to that point. And a few days ago, I added the latest movies to it. So if I continue to add to it, I might do a tier ranking of all the 2026 horror movies that I've seen during the year. But if you do want to rank it yourself and see how it ranks against everybody else, I do have it linked in my posts.